You ever feel it in the air before you hear it, my friend? That strange static, that electric hum that tells you history is about to snap? Well, at 8:41 p.m., London felt it first. There was no BBC alert. No Home Office press release. Downing Street didn't tweet a thing. But the 3,000 people crammed into Whitehall, shoulder to shoulder in the freezing rain, felt the shift. An atmosphere so tight, so charged, it could have sparked itself. Inside number 10, blinds drawn tight like a bunker under siege, Keir Starmer stood in the operations room with that haunted look politicians get when they realize their decisions are about to leave the page and become real. The aides behind him were motionless, too frightened to breathe in case he heard it. On the central screen, a drone feed. A sea of bodies. A thin, trembling blue line of riot shields. Then came the order. Not shouted. Not debated. Just delivered. Cold. Clinical. Fatal. Push them back. Clear the square. Use whatever force is necessary. And Starmer didn't blink. Not once. The police line surged forward in perfect, militaristic harmony. Boots hitting the pavement. Thud, echoing between the stone facades of government power. Move back, they shouted. The classic intimidation tactic. Usually works. Terror is a language the state speaks fluently. But not tonight. Tonight the crowd didn't run. They didn't flinch. They answered back. A low murmur rose from the rear. A growl. Then a roar. We are not leaving. And you know what? They meant it. Did you know that over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel? We totally get it. Life gets busy, and sometimes it's easy to forget. But here's the thing. Subscribing is completely free, and it really helps us keep creating the content you enjoy. So, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? It only takes a second, but it makes a world of difference to us. Thank you for your support. A frontline officer, visor fogged, breath ragged, locked eyes with a man inches from his shield. No mask. No scarf. No attempt to hide. Just tears, pure rage, rolling down his face. You're supposed to protect us, he screamed. Look at what you're doing. The officer hesitated. Only a fraction of a second. But in riot tactics, that's long enough to lose a city. Because then, the flare came. A burning, blinding magnesium red comet arcing over Whitehall in slow motion. Starmer's knuckles clenched the table. Stop it, he whispered, pathetically powerless. Too late. Boom. A blast of light. Horses rearing. Officers tumbling. And London, our London, descended into a level of chaos it hadn't seen in decades. The pushback had failed. The government had just lost the capital. For a moment the drone feed went white, as if London itself had vanished. And when the picture returned, the thin blue line was gone. In its place, an unstoppable mass of bodies surging forward. Bolted barriers were ripped from the concrete like cardboard. Metal hammered against shields. Police radios dissolved into static. Officer down. We're losing the west flank. Control, we are overrun. You could hear the moment authority realized it no longer held authority. In number 10, Starmer reached for the phone, froze, and put it back. What would he even say? Sorry lads, bit of a cock-up on our Whitehall. And while the government panicked behind closed doors, the internet did what the BBC refused to do. It told the truth. Within 3 minutes, the footage exploded across X, TikTok, and Telegram. A viral video from a Parliament Street window showed a police van surrounded, windows shattered, a Molotov igniting its interior like a furnace. The caption: London has fallen. And people believed it. Because they could see it with their own eyes, even as their televisions lied to them. Tear gas drifted backwards into police lines. Officers stumbled blind. Figures with gas masks emerged from the smoke like they were ready for a different kind of fight entirely. This wasn't a protest anymore. This was a siege. Inside number 10, lights flickered. The power grid groaned. London, a world capital, began blinking like a dying bulb. Then came the BBC freeze. Not a glitch. A panic button. Cut the feed. Do not show the burning. Do not show the retreat. But when the news goes dark and the streets glow orange, people don't calm down, they go outside. Billboards blacked out in Piccadilly Circus. London's glossy facade peeled away. And beneath it, raw, furious bone. The police communication system, built to survive terror attacks, collapsed under the weight of desperation. Officers begged for backups that weren't coming. We are surrounded, requesting immediate assistance. We've lost the van. They've taken the equipment. Then, silence. And silence, in a riot, is death. The crowd swept north toward Trafalgar Square. A live stream from the top of a bus captured history in real time. Flames behind them, police failing beside them, and atop Nelson's column, someone waving a banner. Not the Union Jack. Not a party flag. Just 3 words. No one is coming. Inside number 10, an aide burst into the room. Prime Minister, we've lost the bridges. Starmer blinked. Which one? All of them, sir. London, cut in half. Downing Street, now a fortress with the heartbeat of a prison. When one minister finally choked out the truth, how did this spread so fast? The answer landed like a sledgehammer. Because it wasn't just London. Birmingham was burning. Manchester was besieged. Leeds. Liverpool. Bristol. A synchronized national eruption. You can kettle a protest. You cannot kettle a nation. Police officers outnumbered 500 to 1 reached breaking point. Shields cracked. Radios dead. Exhaustion dripping off them like rain. And then, in Parliament Square, the entire line, what remained of it, collapsed. Not dramatically. Physically. Their bodies simply stopped obeying orders. Rioters advanced with stolen barriers as battering rams. The hunted had become the hunters. The police commissioner phoned number 10 in a defeated rasp. We cannot hold. We are out of officers. The highways are blocked. Prime Minister, we are on our own. And then, the power went. Total darkness. Inside Downing Street. Inside the heart of government. The emergency lights returned as a dim blood-red glow. It looked less like a crisis room and more like the final scene of a nation in collapse. Starmer's security stepped forward. Sir, protocol shepherd. We need to move you underground. He refused. But it didn't matter. Because outside, in that darkness, London had become medieval, fought by silhouettes and shadows. At the cenotaph, the line finally broke for good. Riot shields fell. Bodies pressed forward. The crowd poured through. And then came the moment the state truly shattered. A single officer, exhausted, drenched in sweat, lowered his shield. Let it fall. Clang. Then another. Clang. Then an entire row. Clang, clang, clang. They weren't ordered to surrender. They just stopped. The police had quit. Social media took 3 seconds to upload it. 10 minutes to hit 10 million views. A nation to realize the truth. If London police won't fight, why would the rest of the country? The crowd flooded Parliament Square. Churchill's statue lit by a blood-red flare, the St. George's Cross draped over his shoulders like some post-Civil War relic. And 80 feet beneath Whitehall, inside the Pinder bunker, the Prime Minister watched the bridges fall and the people march unopposed toward Parliament. The Defence Secretary delivered the verdict. Prime Minister, if we do not act, Parliament will burn. Starmer gave the order no Prime Minister ever wants to give. Deploy the army. And at 3:05 a.m., the sound of London changed. No more screaming. No more smashing glass. Just deep, growling diesel engines, the military kind. Land Rovers and Jackals rolled through Whitehall, crushing abandoned police shields beneath their tires. Soldiers emerged, not shouting, not banging shields, just silently forming firing lines. The crowd fell silent. Throwing bottles at police is one thing. Throwing one at a kid with a loaded SA-80? That's suicide. And they were kids. Barely 19. Terrified. Facing them. Teenagers the same age. 2 sides of a broken country staring at each other across 10 feet of shared misery. One wrong move, and Britain would have slipped into something we never come back from. Then, movement. From the crowd, an unexpected path opened. Out walked 6 veterans. No masks. No hoods. Just old berets, medals, scars. They stepped into the kill zone like they'd done it before. The eldest, a giant with a scar down his cheek, looked the young soldier in the eyes. Stand down, son. Sir. I have orders. I know. I had them too. But if you pull that trigger, you lose this country. Put it down. Silence. A breath. A heartbeat. Click. Safety on. A miracle in a night of madness. The line followed him, rifles lowered. The veteran turned to the rioters. And you lot, go home. You've made your point. Don't burn what belongs to you. And just like that, After hours of fire and fury, the night exhaled. Not with victory, not with peace, but with exhaustion. The people saved London. Not the police. Not the government. The people. At sunrise, the capital looked like the set of a disaster film. Burned vans. Smashed glass. Charred barricades. Abandoned shields like gravestones. Soldiers stood watch, silent. The rioters dissolved back into daily life. But the anger. Oh, it didn't go anywhere. It just went quiet. At 7 a.m., the BBC finally returned to air. Starmer appeared, looking older than he had any right to at his age. Order has been restored, he declared. My friend, no one believed that. Not even him. Order hadn't been restored. It had been imposed. By rifles. By fear. By sheer luck. And the social contract, the fragile agreement that we obey the law because the law protects us, was shattered last night like a window on Whitehall. The government is already scrubbing the internet. Deleting footage. Suspending accounts. Trying to convince you this was isolated thuggery. But we kept the receipts. And now you have seen them too. So here's the question echoing through every corridor of power this morning. If this happened in one night, what happens when the sun goes down again? Tell me in the comments. Do you feel safe? Or do you feel like Britain has just lit the fuse? Because, my friend, this is the story they never wanted you to see.